This not daily rant on my people, but too loud make I give you simple. Street they talk but my heart they filter. Now I bring 'em raw daily rants. This not daily rant on my people, but too loud make I give you simple. Street they talk but my heart they filter. Now I bring 'em raw daily rants.
Hi viewers, welcome to another episode of your Daily Rant. Well, yes, we are back. Yeah, I'm the Nigerian guy that you hate so much but you like to hear at the same time, as usual. I'm here to give you that uncut honesty and the truth. So please do me a favor. If you like what you see, if you see what you like, please subscribe, comment, help. If I told you that Didi touched me now, you'll be excited. You want to subscribe because you want to hear my story. So subscribe, comment. Don't be stingy with your finger. Pause. No Didi. Alright, seriously, subscribe, comment. Alright, don't be stingy. Alright, let's get right into it. I'm going back to the motherland today. Okay, I'm going back to the motherland, and I think I need to bring some how do you want to call it? Some pure, good, unfiltered conversation about the things we talk about, but we don't want to talk about it because if we talk about it, you need to do it in the kind of way that doesn't really irritate people too much. At the same time, you don't want to blame other people too much. At the same time, you want to be conscious enough to understand, but how you going to do it? That's why I come in. Because I bring a whole different flow into the conversation. I give from different perspective. This is not about being white or being black. None of that nonsense. It's about giving the right information so people can comprehend. Then they can come to their own conclusion. Okay? It's not jamming ideology or jamming one perception about something on someone. If you don't take it, you're in trouble. No, none of that nonsense. Just let people come to their own conclusion. But it's by giving them the right information without any kind of unfiltered ideology behind it. Kabish? Alright. So, one more time again. If you don't know who I am, you need problem. If you don't know who I am by now, you should know. The name is Lex. Just call me Lex. Make it easy for you. Not Mogulu Mumbala. No, it's Lex. Simple. Let's go. What do I have for you today? I went back to the motherland. Then I've been listening to this man speak for a while now. Okay? If you haven't seen the thumbnail, I think you should see it by now. Let me make sure it's working. Because this is a live stream. I only do live stream now. I don't have time to be cutting, editing video and just too much nonsense. If you like, you watch. It's your problem. So where am I going? Briefly, let me show you what today's conversation is going to be about. Then you can decide. Especially my American brothers and sisters who like to watch me secretly. 90% of you like to watch me, but you will not subscribe. I don't think you need Jesus. You need the devil too. Today we're going to talk about something that is too obvious that we don't like to talk about because when you say too much, you're going to irritate a lot of people. It's called misplaced priorities. Now, if you look at that, your screen, up, down, left, right, left, if you look everywhere, you will find out that misplaced priorities means that spending excess time and effort on resources on less important tasks while neglecting those that matters. Now, you will ask yourself, Lex, how many buildings do you have, or how many wives and chickens and goats do you have? I don't have any. But I understand what my priorities are. So let's go back to the main studio. Come with me. Let's come to some level of understanding. Because some people have personally DM me privately. Lex, you've changed. Something have changed. Yeah, because I've told many people many times, I am all about having conversation. This is not about you're white, you're black, you're brown, you're purple, you're this, you're that. No. I understand there is a concept that we need to remember the past so we can understand how we got here. But it seems most of the time, a lot of people like to dwell in the past so much. They don't understand right now. It's not about reflecting too much about the past. It's about what are you going to do moving forward so you can prevent what happened from the past coming back in the present. I hope you're following. Now, let me share with you. We'll come back to that misplaced priorities. So please, if you're watching in America, Congo, Ghana, Australia, wherever you're watching from, please do me a favor. Share with your friends. So let's have real grown-up adult conversation. I'm going to play a series of videos from this man. And I don't want you to take the video as some like a jab or nah. I want you to listen from the place of pure curiosity. Okay? Because I want you to be curious. Because when you're curious, it makes it very interesting for you to ask some serious sort of questions you don't like to ask yourself. Because I like to ask those questions. All right. Where were we? Let me wee you. So this man is going to start with something that really shook me. And that's what I decided to put at the front of the conversation. So it's just, so I can draw you in. I can get your attention because that is today's currency. All right. Am I funny enough? Am I intellectual enough? Am I smart enough? Do I even know what the fuck I'm saying? You're going to enjoy it. Because I'm going to blend Australia, America, Nigeria, Africa. I'll blend everything together for you. So you come to the right place. So subscribe. If I find out that all of you watch this live stream and you didn't subscribe, I will send juju to you in your house. So you better subscribe. All right, let's go. I will threaten you till you subscribe. Because if I tell you now, I want to give, I was there when Didi was doing this thing. You will be excited. You want to click because this guy is going to give me story. Now subscribe. All right, let's go. This is the first part of the conversation that really, he said something. Not only that it really surprised me, and I truly understood what he's saying. Now, disclaimer, my white brothers and sisters, this is not a shade to you. I'm not calling you racist. I'm not saying you're a bad individual. I'm not saying you're this. I'm not saying you're that. No. All right? Please don't pull out. Don't push. Pause. Yeah, don't pull out. Don't pull out at all. Come in. What am I even saying? No, don't come. No, you know what I mean. So just behave yourself first. Just come. Nobody is dissing you. I want you to be present. I want you to be in the part of this conversation so you can understand how things looks like. Now, there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. I'll say it again. There is a clear difference between sympathy and empathy. So if you part of this conversation, which means you can combine both sympathy and empathy. If you don't, which means you can only sympathize, you don't empathize. Now, let me give it to you. Let me drop it like it's hot. Yeah, let's go.
Because the black man thinks that if he becomes a better house nigger, the white man will be more merciful to him.
What? Let's take that back. What?
Because the black man thinks that if he becomes a better house nigger, the white man will be more merciful to him. So when we saw them planning to kill Gaddafi, we all looked at, without mixing my words, Mugabe was there, Zuma was there, Museveni was there, Kagame was there. They all knew. And when they tried to rush into Libya, they were told by the Western NATO, stay away. We are going to get rid of him. Go and find the interview by Museveni himself admitting that we looked away. We were there and we were told to look away and we looked away. Why? Because you thought that it's Libya. You thought that it was Saddam Hussein. You thought it was Vietnam. You thought it was Syria. You thought it was Afghanistan. And what happens in Afghanistan will not happen to us. Lo and behold, one by one, we have seen the colonial hand plague. And by the way, sometimes I get very, very controversial, not for the sake of being controversial, but for being truthful. See, the West should never lie to Africans that our governments are illegitimate and they're corrupt, when they are the very same people who are involved in putting those people into power. What hypocrisy is that?
Yeah, yeah.
You come around with regime changes. You change the regime. Then you want to run on the public media and say this government is corrupt. They were educated by you. They were trained by you. They were sponsored by you. Mugabe had more than 40 PhDs from British universities, American universities. They all recognized him and clapped hands. And they want to come around and say, this African leader. No, Mugabe was not African. Mugabe was Sir Mugabe, with palaces given to him by the Queen in Coventry.
Until
He touched land. He became a relegate. So are we saying that you are only a good president as long as you are playing the tune of the colonial system? The answer is yes. Democracy.
So that is one part of this conversation that I want to start with. Okay? And this is let me take the screen back for a second. You see, this man, I'm sure some of you have seen him on social media. You've seen him, maybe busting to FYP. I want you to go and listen to this man. We live in a time whereby everything is very censored. You cough too much, you've irritated someone. You say something so much, you've made someone feel uncomfortable. You laugh a certain way, you need to laugh the right way because someone is feeling uncomfortable. At every turn that you make, you have to make provision for whoever is around you to make them feel comfortable. And this is why a lot of people do not like this man. They want that you're watching from your this way and that way. This way, that way, whatever. You see what I mean? This man speaks from the place of knowledge. Now, like I always say, I know this is one of those things that a lot of people do not like because the very first thing people do when you see content creators is that they think many of the content creators, I'll call myself now a content creator because I'm on YouTube. So they think many of us were very dumb and stupid. There is difference between 1 + 1 and there is a knowledge that you can acquire from education and there is a knowledge you can acquire from observation. Okay? There are many forms of learning. It's not by until you read a textbook from to the end. That makes you intelligent. No, it doesn't. It's just scripted words that were written by somebody whom you've accepted that is more intelligent than you. So that's why you can go to the book and read it. Oh, yeah, I believe, 1 + 1 is 2. But I know there was an actor that said 1 + 1 is 1. Or 1 times 1 is 2. And people did not believe him. I digress. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people do not like this man because he asks questions that it only takes a dumb individual not to see, not to accept it. You have to be dumb for you not to accept it. Because it's a question that allows you to think. Because we live in a generation whereby I am scared to my living, you know what. Because, like I said on my last live stream, because they're creating AI for this. That's it. They've already made their mind that they're going to create AI so that we can just fuck AI. Pause. No Didi. I ain't lying. Go and see what I put out 2 days ago, about a day ago, is it? I said exactly the same thing. Because it's all about control while you focus your priorities on the things that's not very important at all. It's always been the voodoo game. And when I went into that rabbit hole to really understand how a thing works, you see, a lot of things has origin. Everything has origin in this life. Everything has a foundation, how it begins. And one of the things that I realized that where most of this thing starts from is way back in the 1600s. The 2025 that you live in today, all the structure and organization that you get today was designed in 1600 by the big 4 universities or big 5 universities, you want to call them. The Yale, the Harvard, the University of Columbia. Those are the real people that controls the fucking world. Because you can trace back to religion, your Western modern education that we have, this English that I'm speaking right now, derived from there because they had to go out to the world and spread the message. Not that you like it or not, you have to subscribe to it. The same way, since year 2000, January 1st, year 2000, go and do your own investigation, not just do research. Find a lot of things, some people that will give you unfiltered honesty. Because that is when we surrender our lives to internet. Since then, internet has decided when you take a shit, when you sleep with your wife, when you pay your bills, when you don't pay your bills, when you have access to resources that should come natural to you. But wait, pause. I don't have a PhD, so which means I'm not supposed to think this way. This is why a lot of people want other people to think for them and make all those answers for them. Now, because they really, really want to isolate our intelligence to the point that it's only going to be given to the very few. Now, they give us the biggest problem where we never asked for. They're giving us AI. Because AI now will do everything for you, including fuck you. Because they are going to create this software, because it's technically a software. But they will inject software into hardware so you can, that's what they're going to use it to do. But you're too dumb. You will insult men like this because they ask questions. You will think he dressed like a man from the bush. Oh, he's not intelligent enough. Oh, he's not smart enough. Because he's asking questions that you refuse to ask for yourself. All right? This is the version of the wokeness that was important. Not the dumb, stupid wokeness they do in America. Because that wokeness is not woke. That woke is sleep. While you're like a puppet. Let me let the man keep talking.
What hypocrisy is that?
Yeah.
You come around with regime changes. You change the regime. Then you want to run on the public media and say this government is corrupt. They were educated by you. They were trained by you.
Mm-hmm.
They were sponsored by you.
Mm-hmm.
Mugabe had more than 40 PhDs from British universities, American universities. They all recognized him and clapped hands. And they want to come around and say, this African leader. No, Mugabe was not African. Mugabe was a sir.
Yeah, he
Mugabe.
was.
With palaces given to him by the Queen in Coventry.
Until
He touched land. He became a relegate. So are we saying that you are only a good president as long as you are playing the tune of the colonial system? The answer is yes.
Democracy is a slave market to manage colonialism under new political leaders. So literally you create a system that maintains the same system, and it's only that it has black faces. So democracy is removing white people and putting black people to continuously oppress the black people.
Fact. That is stamping. That is fact. We call it fat and oil. It doesn't get more honest than that. That is the most earnest version of democracy from the African perspective that I've ever heard in my life. Because guess what? Yours truly said exactly the same thing. I said exactly the same thing. Before I ever even saw his video, I said this ago. Because I've told people that refuse to actually really understand how this world goes. There is something that you and I have to respect. Not that you and I like it or not, we have to respect something. Because that is how it's deemable for you to, for the world to see that you were civilized. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know what that thing is? You want to know what you and I have to accept, because that is the only way the world is going to see that you and I are civilized. Because if we don't, the world does not see that you and I are civilized. Let me show you guys what you have to do, what you have to follow for the world to know that you're civilized. Because my David don't do it. They're gonna barbecue or barbecue you. Let me bring it out there. Because if you don't accept this, you're cooked. In fact, if you don't accept it, they will think that you're a cyborg. If you don't accept this, they will remove you from existence. Because this is the world we live in today. And these are the people that have dictated you and I, like I said yesterday, when are you going to take your shit? See, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't follow the law, the society sees you that you are not civilized, then ask yourself a different kind of question. Who wrote the law? By what foundation? What was the ideology behind the law? What was the law written to provide and protect? What are the laws written to defend and uphold? How do you process and practice the law? That is why some of the richest people on the planet of this earth, they always seem to be lawyers. Why? Because an average man doesn't know he is even breaking the law. Because most of the time, you and I will break the law more than we actually even know. Like there's a lot of things I'm doing right now that if you go and research some sort of law, you will find out I'm breaking some law right now. I promise you. That is how law works, because law is so deep that you keep looking into it. You'll be surprised some of the things that you will find out you're doing that is actually against the law. Because this is how we get manipulated so many times. We get bamboozled so many times. I said it 2 days ago. Let me say it again. Let me have my own moment. You see, the most destructive thing we've ever created on this planet of this earth has never been just the guns, the threat of bombing. The most destructive thing we've ever created on the planet of this earth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give it to you. Pen and paper. A pen and a paper is the most destructive thing we've ever created. Why? Because if you don't abide with what is going on this, which is going to reflect this, because it's going to reflect the law. You sign that deal, you Marasaka, you better follow it. Because if you don't follow it, you're cooked. The whole world will chastise you. The world will see you as a criminal. The world will see you as this, the world will see you as that. I did a live stream a couple of weeks ago. It's about who are the real criminals in the world? Is it the bankers? Is it the politicians? Is it the billionaires? Huh? Food for thought. Now, let's go back to this live stream. I just said, let me just do that. So you can see that I am a bushman. I'm an illiterate. I don't have any form of education. I'm just speaking out of my ass. So just treat it carefully. If you're more intelligent than me, please, I'd like you to comment and say something. Please. It will really, really help me grow my intelligence. Because many of you, I know, it irritates you when somebody can talk like this with a lot of confidence. Society does not like confident people at all. Ooh, yikes.
Serious. I thought democracy is the power of the people to select who they want
Then
and they want.
If it is the power of the people, how come minority must rule the majority? If the majority says we don't want homosexuality and minority says yes, so what is democracy? Is it not majority rule?
Yeah.
So if it is majority, what does the majority want in Uganda?
The majority don't want gays.
So you give me a definition of democracy then.
Democracy, I think, is the power of people to choose.
So if the people have chosen, then how come the minority are ruling?
The minority are ruling. I think they are selected by the majority.
You process that in your mind. So democracy is not majority rule.
Yes.
Democracy is money rules.
Fact. Democracy has always been the one of the most easiest way to people to get manipulated. There is no such thing called democracy. It's never existed. It is something that was created by so-called those intelligent Murasokas in the 1600s because they wrote it in a pen and on paper and you had to believe it. I want people to really think about this very well. It was written on a piece of paper called the law. And you have to abide by it. Okay? And democracy is an expression of showing people that they have the authority to decide who govern and who rule them. They decide who the leader is going to be. Because majority of people come together and say, okay, there's only few there. You feel you cannot dictate what this is doing. But what really happened in democracy when the game really got changed was that the few there, they start finding a way to have so much money more than every other majority. So it doesn't matter what the majority said. If you people just shut up. You're talking too much. I have more money than you. What can you say? That is what this man is explaining.
What kind of people will wake up in the morning to go and make weapons?
You see, this part of what this man is saying is the same question I fucking asked. It's the same question, I swear on my living life, I asked a few days ago. I've always asked this. So, see, for old things to go, for new things to come, old things needs to go. Okay? Now, I mean, when something needs to go, does it need to go in the form of complete, totally destruction? Or you can actually renew or modernize, or you can modify old things to make sure that they still function while you use the old thing to build something new, or you use them as a replication of what you can do to improve what the old was. But there's always one question that I still don't understand for the life of me. The Western society, they search for these so-called rare earth minerals that they're looking for, that their president is fighting everybody. You tariff here, I give you tariff there, you tariff there. Giving tariff to everybody like Oprah was just giving gifts. These rare earth minerals, what are they trying to build? Weapons. They're trying to build weapons. Why? Why is it these rare earth minerals, it's about building weapons? To do what exactly? To do what? You're trying to build weapon. Why? Is it weapon that people need to eat? People are struggling with medical situations in their lives. The Western society is looking for rare earth minerals all over the world, fighting China, fighting this, fighting that, so that they can build weapon. The first thing in line is weapon. Then the second thing is electric cars and batteries. That is why they're looking for rare earth minerals around the world. Kissing everybody's house, they're going to kiss, and going behind the back and telling them that you slept with your wife yesterday. Oh, China, oh. And you, as a modern person, which I think we all are today, you would think, you know, my country is doing the best. My country is the best. You're a fool. You are a fool.
To kill other people. Are you okay?
That's what I don't understand. The rare earth minerals, it's not about improving people's life. They're finding rare earth minerals so they can build machines, weaponry machine that can go from one part of the world to the other part of the world at the record-breaking speed, so you can intimidate other people, so you can go there and take more of their resources. I don't get it. And you think you've evolved? Shite.
You come to Africa, you dig up the whole place and leave mining dumps, poisoning rivers with cyanide, only to bring the gold and put it in a warehouse somewhere here you call a vault.
That's the truth. It's just like UK. Yeah, my UK fans. UK? You okay? You having a laugh? Yeah, I am having a laugh right now. Because this is what your heritage was doing. You're going everywhere, taking what doesn't belong to you. Australia. Pause. It's the same thing. You guys just go everywhere, take what doesn't belong to you, then you put it in a vote. You will say, what's that stupid thing that they always come up with? We discovered it. It was discovered.
You come to Africa, you kill animals, only to collect the horns and leaving the meat to rot on the ground. Are you okay? And then when they see us putting on skins like this, they want to look like they're conservationists. No, you can't be putting on animal skins. But you're sitting on a leather chair with leather shoes with a...
That's the thing. That is the image of power. That is the image of elegance, because it's clean. It's structured. Impose a lot of, showing a lot of masculinity. For modern dating today, that is sexy. I just need to swap his face and put my face on it. Ooh, yikes. You be see the girls in my DMs. Oh man, look at that. That is what real masculine man looks like. Oh, that's just a very highly masculine man. Where can I get me one of that? But if you see this Muzulu here, you would think African man. Because this is what the world expects to be a masculine man. Old school OG. Because this man exudes a lot of masculinity because the way he's sitting down, looking very serious, putting his two hands at the edge to let you know that he can jump, he can stand, he can sit at any time. It looks like he's in complete control because this is what the world see as a real man. If I'm lying, please put in the comment section. The educated ones.
Leather belt. Are you okay in your head? With a leather car. What kind of hypocrisy is that? You pollute the whole world with carbon. Then you come around and say, please, let's do some green energy. Shut your industries up if you're talking about green energy. You have lied to us for too long. And the honeymoon of lies is over.
That's a fact. I'm not getting bothered now. Like, there's nothing you can tell me today. What? Because I'm not going to drive G-Wagon or C-Class, or I'm not going to sit in a 4-5-star hotel, or I'm not going to be in a first-class air flight. What gives a fuck? Because these rare earth minerals they're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, they want to use it to build more fighter jets. They want to use it to build more things that would destroy life. These are the things that they want to go get these rare earth minerals to do. It's not to improve your life. Americans, where you at? What's up, boy? They are not getting the minerals to improve your life. They're getting the minerals so they can continue the same pattern of behavior they've been doing for the last 400 years. Go one place, dig a hole, pick whatever is there, use it to build something to intimidate another place that you're going. If you don't let us here by force, we will catabush you. Then they will threaten you. They will take more of it, then they'll go another place. This is why everywhere they always go, they never leave. And they will tell people, Africans are migrating all over the world. We need to change the visa. You shouldn't be migrating anywhere. Then what the fuck are you doing in our homeland in the first place? What are you doing there? No. You didn't come there to do business. You come there to intimidate like you've always done. And the other thing that will really irritate me is when I see some so-called black educators and African, whatever it is, and this and that. I've said, Africa does not need democracy. It's idiotic to even think it's ever even going to work in Africa. Because our culture, which a lot of people like, a lot of people don't like, and I'm going to be first person to tell you, there's a lot of things about African cultures that we can improve. 1,000%. Let me say it again. There is a lot of things we can improve about African culture. I 100% agree with you. I'm all for debate on that. But don't tell me just because they've developed the science so that they can fly a plane in the sky. So which means automatically, just because I can't do that means they're more intelligent than me. No. It's that they found a way to do it. As long as I find a way to do it, I will do exactly what they do. So I am just as intelligent. I am just as smart. I am just as knowledgeable as they are. It's just because I don't have the resources that they have. That is why they're able to build something that can fly in the sky. But you, a professional bumfool, because you went to University of Yale. You went to University of Columbia. You think you have your 4.5 or 5.1 or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I am really freaking intelligent. I have my master's degree in communication science. But you don't think. With all your intelligence, you don't think. And you complain about things that you complain about. This is why sometimes when Americans complain about something, I say, just shut up. You are not even unified in your own country. How can you tell us what we need to do? We should say something in most African homes. They will tell you, say, charity begins at home, which means you need to get your shit at home first before you go outside and tell other people what they need to do. But no, these rare earth minerals that they're looking for everywhere in the world now, because that's the new niche. The new niche is rare earth mineral. It's not even petroleum anymore because a lot of them start scratching their head. The way China is producing cars, yikes. If China keep producing all these cars, they will take us out of business because everybody will be buying electric cars. And if they buy electric cars, and they're not using no petrol, where the money is going to come from? The money is always for them to accumulate this so they can keep democracy alive. Go and look at some of the best countries that's functioning properly. They're not democratic countries. They're not. They're ruled by leaders who specifically do things on behalf of the citizens of the country that they govern. But one of the things that I think education has done very well is that it's really made people believe this fucking ideology of democracy. It doesn't work. Democracy benefits the elite of the elite. Those are the people that benefit from democracy, because you gotta understand something now. The biggest thing I ever picked out when I was listening to these so-called educated people was that I found out that the best way for you to be in power, the best way for you to stay afloat, you actually need to play both sides simultaneously at the same time. That is the best way for you to stay in power, because it doesn't matter who wins or who loses, you're going to be comfortable. So, food for thought for the educated mumbo jumbos. Ask yourself, go back, don't travel too far. Travel in the last 10 years. Figure every political leader, every president that the so-called Western countries have ever had. Go and look, what is one business, what company, or one contributor that seems to stay afloat for the last 10 different presidents that all these Western developed countries have. You will start looking at a lot of things is not adding up. Food for thought. Let's go on.
African leader who can hear me out there on the entire continent, if you aspire to be a president, please follow the path of Traore. Africa does not need democracy.
What do we need?
It's a smokescreen of lies which allows imperialism and neocolonialism to continue. Africa needs dictators.
Fact.
Africa needs military dictators.
Military, not just any other dictator.
Military for security. Dictators in that they must dictate the right thing.
Fact.
We need people that are purposeful.
Fact.
Cutting down the bureaucracy of democracy. And
that's another thing again for people who don't understand. Have you ever asked yourself, why does it really take too long for something that people need for it to manifest? Why does it take too long when you hear the promises from the so-called politicians and, we're going to do this, we've signed this unilateral deal and it's going to take effect, but you have to wait 3, 5, 6, 7 years before something that is signed today, before you start seeing it manifesting. Why? Because of democracy, there's a lot of bureaucracy that comes into it. A lot of people need to sign and acknowledge that this is this, that is that. But for some reason, every country that seems to have one major leader, for some reason, they always get things done a little much more quicker, faster than the so-called democratic society. Because too much bureaucracy. Everybody wants to feel like they're important. But in a dictatorship, no, it's a sign. It's a responsibility that is betrothed to you by the person who you give your response to or your reports to. Because without that, they will take it from you. They will give it to somebody who's going to get it done. That is how it always works. But everybody now believes the story about Libya. Libya used to be, even the Americans will move to Libya to go and live there because they're living way much more better life than most Americans do. But when they unalive the man, and they made Gaddafi look like he was the worst thing since sliced bread. Look at the country now. The country is divided the way Africa was divided. They've divided the country that the citizens don't have to pay almost nothing. The government will pay the citizen for them to do this, for them to do that. They said, he has a lot of women. Oh, that is not. There's everything you can think about under the book, under the sun. It's public knowledge now. And yet you will find them. They will wear this fucking stupid suit. They will see me wearing my Dashiki, they say, oh, that really looks really cool. But the girls say, oh man, look at that. But I don't blame them. Many of them, that's all you've seen. You've been programmed your life to look a certain way. So this is why a man like that, you will never find him sexy, because look at what he's wearing.
Getting things done. If you walk up into your parliament right now, you'll have papers the size of this room of good ideas that have never been implemented.
Fact.
Roads that have never been finished.
Fact.
Buildings and hospitals that have not been repaired.
Fact.
But budget approved
Fact.
and voted.
Fact.
It's in the pipeline. It's in the pipeline.
Yes.
And in the midst of that pipeline, procurement, corruption, and preferential procurement, looting and stealing is happening. How does a minister walks into a government with 50,000 shillings become a millionaire in 2 years with a salary that can't afford 3 pairs of shoes? Where does he get the money from? Any government minister who becomes a millionaire after being to a government office is a thief.
Fact.
It's true.
Fact. 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 Let me give him a clap, man.
I'm here to tell you right now.
You see, it does. This is why I love his pure, unfiltered honesty. Now I know there's gonna be a lot of Christians. Oh, that is not a man of God. Don't worry, I'll jump on you very soon, because that is the problem why a lot of things never get done. It's just the bureaucracy. Because there are more people. Excuse me. There are more people in Africa today that 5,000 times much more smarter than me, more intelligent than me. More intelligent than the best person that have your PhD, that the one that you always remember to give your Nobel Prize to. I can tell you they're geniuses in Africa. But when you have a place whereby it's never developed, it's always getting taken advantage of. How do you think people are going to want to kind of evolve or get better? No. It's because of this nonsense. You find a political leader. I don't want to say just Africa alone, because it's a learned behavior. Because Africa wasn't a continent before. It was homeland. Everybody understands where you're from. People will migrate from one part of Africa to the other without needing borders. For some reason, they came and sliced Africa like piñata. UK, take that one. France, take that one. Spain, take that one. France, Switzerland, Belgium, take that one. Portugal, take that one. They turned it to piñata. They sliced it up and gave it to. And that is the same thing. It's divide, isolate, conquer, take the pattern again to somewhere else and do the same thing again. It's the same formula. Nothing has really changed.
That's very true.
There's no millionaire who becomes a millionaire through government salaries. I make that statement loud and clear. So this whole concept of democracy, it's a facade, the entertainment for the poor, to think that by voting a president into power, they've actually put a man in control. We need people like Traore, who wakes up in the morning and says, I need 3,000 trucks of road equipment on the road by tomorrow. And 3 kilometers from Ghana into Burkina Faso, they are there by tomorrow. I need a hospital there. I need an aeroplane manufacturing industry there. I need and you need to give a president power, the one who can decide, not the one who can steal, the one who can decide and make a change. We look at our countries. Look at Kenya, almost 50 years of independence.
60.
Look
63 actually.
Look at Ghana, 63. Look at Zimbabwe, 40 something. And the roads that the colonialists built, we're even battling to repair them with potholes and etc. And you wonder, for the past 45 years, what are we doing? Here's the Minister of Roads, here's the Minister of Public Works, but they simply can't get things done. So what do you need? You need a leader. Boko has picked up the signal. Yeah. Walks up one morning and says, no more diamonds are living here. We are going to beneficiate themselves. You look at Mali, come on, no more. Uranium is going out. We're going to benefit it here. We need Ghana. We need Kenya to say, no more coffee lives here. We will make the chocolates from here. Belgium must order chocolates made in Kenya. You can't take our coffee and take it to Belgium and say it's produced in Belgium. What the hell are you talking about? Who are you cheating here? You don't even have a single bush of a coffee tree in Belgium and say they're the producers of coffee. Who is lying to who? Britain cannot be the sole mother of determining the price of gold. You don't even have a quarry mine
to bring me 2 or 3 dust of gold in your country.
That's the thing again. Because in the UK, in their votes, let me show you guys a little story. You guys remember when the Queen unalived? And a lot of people were so excited. A lot of people were not very excited. A lot of people were in between. Some people were giving out the middle finger, whatever it is. But when you go back in history, as a Nigerian, yeah, she was there when Nigeria got independent. You think I'm lying? I'll find a video for you. She was there when Nigeria got independent. Queen of England. Okay? Your Australian country was colonized by the British. That is why I try to do innate. But as everybody knows, they borrowed a lot of things from Africa. They borrowed a lot. They borrowed a lot of things that they don't think they should give it back because they need to process it a little bit. And when you go there and tell them, this thing doesn't look like something that your farmer crafted, it belongs to my people, then they will tell you need to go through the process. I don't understand it. Go through the process. Let me ask you a question. And because this is one thing that just came to my mind. I don't know this for a fact, but I want somebody to let me know when, if the UK, France, Germany, all those countries, Holland, all those countries that colonized the world, have they ever kept anything that belongs to China that they didn't return? Food for thought. Please, chat, let me know. Has anything that China owns today is sitting in another developed country's vote? Please let me know. That's a good question to ask. I really want to know. Please help me out while I'm doing this live stream.
Where are you getting it from? Allowed.
Stealing.
The thuggery. That's why I called Britain Pambet for me the home of the Tomb Raiders when I discovered it in August.
Do you think Traore is becoming a threat to African leaders?
He's not a threat.
Most African
He
leaders.
has become a model. And let me say this. Let me just sit up straight.
Yes, please.
Any African president who's coming into power in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, I'm here with all our social media footprint and influence.
Yeah.
You tell me the one you want to become president, we will give them the agenda of the items we want them to attend to. We will not be recycling these old bags and old sacks
Facts.
of political thugs who go to parliament to sleep and fart in parliament.
Yes.
No. We need a new breed of thinkers
Yes.
who are only not looking for food and cannot see beyond their nose.
Fact.
We have an agenda to achieve.
Fact.
Africa that we need for all of us. Therefore, we need to start looking at Traore as a model
Yes.
through which any African leader who is coming into power. I feel sorry for Biya and Cameroon, honestly.
I was going to come to that.
Is that the other thing? That is what we need. We need breeders of people like President Adama Traore. Wherever you are, may God continue to bless you. As a Nigerian, I salute you because you're my brother from a different mother, from the home soil. So thank you, President Traore. And thank you all my Burkina-based friends and my fans. Thank you very much. Please support. Don't let... Yesterday, I didn't want to make my conversation about some conspiracy theory about what they're trying to use AI to create. For those who know, you see, AI is something. And one of the things I didn't talk about yesterday, AI is something that we need to be extremely very careful of. Because they will go to every length they can. Because if you've seen that Sora AI or whatever it is, you can literally use it to do or say anything. And I keep reminding people this every time. This is why when I come here, you see me wearing all kind of different clothes and whatever it is, because it's unbelievable the things that app can do now. Because I think it's on a phone or an app, something. They can literally make it look like anything. And no, like I said yesterday, they're going to trigger it so that you can start making this. You will see very soon, like I said, you won't be able to believe what you see. And this is one of the tools that they're going to use. Please, Burkina Faso, Burkina Bay, don't you never allow this Western technology to influence the way you see this man. This man is not just one man. This man does not belong to you alone, Burkinabe. This man is a symbol, is an ideology that our fathers, our forefathers, our fathers before our fathers, they couldn't survive. Burkina Faso, throw yourself under the bus to protect this man, if so be. Because it only requires a couple of more countries for them to come together and say, we've had enough. We don't want you here at all. You want to do business with us? You go through our own process. You go through our own filtration system. You go through our own refineries. You go through our own plant process. If you don't do that, you don't buy. It's okay. Take your business everywhere. We will sell within ourselves in Africa. We will be fine. Burkina Faso, Burkina Bay. This is my message to Burkina Faso. Throw yourself under the bus to protect this man, because I promise you, media power is something that is exceptionally very powerful, because this is the way they did to took out all those prolific leaders in Africa. They use propagandas and media platforms like the BBCs, the CNN. They use it to destroy Libya, because they created an ideology, a fake perception about this man, about who he is. This is what they've done to destroy this man. Please, Burkina Faso's, Burkina Bay's, throw yourself under the bus, throw yourself under the gun, if so be, to protect this man, because this man symbolized something that I don't think in my lifetime I could ever see. Shout out to President Traore. Yeah. So let's continue the conversation.
Old people. There's Bia and there's Alassane Ouattara, who is also 83. When you see these old leaders still stuck on that seat and still wanting to be president, what is the problem?
No, they don't want to be presidents.
What do they want?
They are funders.
And?
Who want them in power. They are protected by those they've signed bilateral agreements with.
At 93?
Cameroon is being run by France. The president is sick, sitting in Cameroon for 8 months, 9 months in his hospital bed. The French embassy in Cameroon is running Cameroon. Shocked?
Not really.
But that's the reality.
Yeah.
The whole media of BIA is being run from France, from Paris. What do you expect? So in as much as you talk about African leaders want to hold on to power, come on, just open up your eyes a little bit.
Is it the same for Ivory Coast?
They don't.
Alassane Ouattara is 83.
The whole
There
thing,
were even demos last week, actually.
who has an interest in his power? Is it the local people or the foreign multinational companies who have an agreement with him to do trades for so many years? Some of them got 30 years, some of them 99 years to do business with this guy. What makes you think that they'll be willing to watch and wait for you as a small little young opposition leader to come into power to overturn the treaties that they've signed? Are you not aware that in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the French are lurking around looking for coups to push these guys out? Why? They want to renew the old contracts.
And that's the thing again. Let me just pause it for a second. You see, I live in Australia here, and there is the capital of Australia, for those who don't know, especially those who live away from Australia. People always think capital of Australia is Sydney or Melbourne. No, it's a city called Canberra. In Canberra, you don't buy a house and own the land. It does not belong to you. The land belongs to the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth is as far away from Australia, I can promise you. Because that is part of the law. Remember what I said initially about the most dangerous item that we ever produced was this. These are the two most dangerous items we ever created. A pen and a paper, and something called the law. Because today is the law that decided when you take a shit or when you sleep. If the law said that you are only allowed to sleep a certain hours, you have to go by what the law says. Neither you like it or not. There is nothing else you can do about it. You best believe it. But this is one of those things that is quite very important for us not to forget. Don't forget.
This is business. Politics is a prostitute of economics.
Shit. He said politics is the prostitute of economics. Yikes. That is what? That is what the fuck? Ooh, shit. Politics is the prostitute of economy.
So you talk about politics, they're talking about money and business, treaties, trade agreements.
Fact.
And whoever is in power must protect these trade agreements.
Fact.
So is France fighting its way since they've been sent away from Mali, Niger, and
They didn't go,
Burkina
they just went
Faso?
next door. They just
Also,
went
they're
next door.
now playing in
They
the
went,
neighborhood.
They went to Cote d'Ivoire. Some of them are hiding in Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
Some of them are hiding there. Again, regrouping, and stupid neighboring presidents, instead of seeing the light that is flicking a path in which you must walk, you still go to bed with the enemy. And anytime you see African leaders doing those funny little smiles, shaking the hands of the white men, you must get worried.
That's fact. You can see with the Nigerian president. You can see with the Kenyan president. You can see with the South African president. And that's another thing again that it's really, look, you know, if you know, you know. If you know, you don't know. If you don't know, this is the place you need to come, because I'll let you know. Because I'll show something later about Nigeria. And this man said it point blank. You see, these leaders, they are not elected by you in Africa. They are not. They are instructed. Because, listen, I made a comment about Commonwealth before. Let me give you my 2 cents based on my own observation and my own conclusion. I didn't read this from a textbook or some ideology. I just have to look at the patterns of behavior and what I've seen. This is my conclusion. Every country that got colonized by Africa, that they had to relinquish, every country needs to have signed a deal that the law is written into the constitution of your country. So which means at every time they would dingle that law on your neck as a leader when you come into any kind of African leadership. They would dingle the law because you have to go by the law, because that is the law that they wrote for you. If you go and check, most countries in Africa, they rather go by the British law, American law, the French law, or the Spanish law, Italian law. Go and check it if I'm lying. There's only one country so-called that was never colonized in Africa, which is Ethiopia. Beside Ethiopia, every other African country that got colonized, go and check the constitution of all these countries. You will find out that they were all modeled by the countries who colonized them. If I'm lying, please put it in the comment section. Let's have a debate.
Because the question is, did you sit in parliament and actually approve for him to go and do that, or is doing that at his own will? Some of those treaties that are being signed there, the parliament is not even aware of what's happening there. Did you see? Did you pass the action for your Kenyan soldiers to go to Haiti?
Actually,
Do you remember lifting your hands in parliament and agreeing for your brothers to go and die in Haiti?
I think my parliamentarians were surprised that they were going.
There you go. So was he acting out of the instruction of the government, or he was acting from his own heart? And that's democracy for you.
And that's it. That is why the concept of democracy, it's a prostitute, not only just to economy, but to our lives. Because it's me and you that is going to work 20 to 30 or 40, 60, 70 hours a week. Because that is the only way we can keep the economy going. Because if you don't do that, the economy is not going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. That is what is going to drag down the economy so bad that it doesn't matter what you think. You're a slave to the economy because you keep the economy going. Without you, there is no economy. If you don't have to put your time and effort and energy into anything, there is no economy. But you're too ignorant to understand that. Or you have seen this so-called economy as the only way that you can have any kind of life. But if we don't start understanding the level of power that we have as every citizens of every fucking place in the world, we won't be able to know how to elevate our mind first. I'm not telling you to go and become a rebellious individual and destroy properties, because guess what? You will be the one to work to fix the damage that you created, because they have something that's called insurance. All these big giant companies, they basically buy and sell between themselves. That is the game.
You elect one person to make decisions on your behalf. And whether those decisions are constructive or destructive, only the international community can say it is in our interest. As we're moving towards this Africa that we want, we must be careful again not to fall into the same nationalism politics.
Yes.
We needed to start strategically positioning ourselves and say, where are these materials being found?
Yeah.
And what kind of support as neighboring countries can we give? Good example, Angola. There's oil. The whole sea there is full of oil, unlimited resources. So here we are in Zimbabwe, buying our oil from Iraq and Russia. Thousands of miles away from here. But right across the Zambezi,
Is Angola.
there's oil. The same budget you are using for shipping oil from there, as government, why not walk across there and develop that refinery? And then pump through Zambia or through Kazungula, one pipe on the Zambezi River. Angola is here, Zambia is here, Namibia is here, Botswana is here, Zimbabwe is here. Build a city, a new city, right there, and service each other. So look at 5 countries right now sitting on a table and say, you have oil, let's support you. Congo, you have maize and agricultural space, let's support you. Botswana, you have diamonds and jewelry, let's support you. You know, Zimbabwe, you have this. It is this strategic conversation that, and the weakest link on African unity are our presidents.
Yes. Fact.
Apparently, when we become united, they'll lose power. So all of them are holding on to their seats. They don't want this thing to happen because some of them even claimed national budgets as their family businesses.
When you look at someone like Duma Boko, what
Bloody
is
thieves.
Africa.
And that's the thing, because we have everything. Okay, we have everything the world wants is in the soil where I come from. And I am motherfucking proud today to walk around with my head high. I am an African. I am fucking proud of it. I don't give a shit what you think if my accent is shit enough. I don't give a fuck if you think my words are not articulated enough. You can kiss my you-know-what. I am proud to be an African, and I will be to the day I die. You can't tell me nothing more than that. I am proud. And I'm grateful, because one of the things that I've observed that quite often is that one of the fastest way for you to lose yourself is for you to take up on an ideology that every once in a while you seem to question it. I sound the way I sound because this is my voice. I sound the way I sound because that's where I come from, and I'm proud of it. Don't ever lose that.
Union, ECOWAS, SADC, and all these African, they must shut up and stop the hypocrisy. They want to go to Niger to fight. They've not even been able to gather themselves to go and silence the war in Congo, which has been going on for more than 100 years.
That's another thing again for those who don't know. I like to put this out there whenever I get the chance. People don't know. See, we've been talking about the Palestine. We've been talking about Ukraine. And I like to remind people sometimes, do you know a war has been going on in South Sudan? Do you know there's a war in some part of Ethiopia? Wait, do you know there's a war that's been going on in Congo? Do you ever see it propagandized in the news? No, you will not, because it doesn't create good headlines. And this is why I always try to remind people very well is that don't let somebody influence you to the point that you can't think for yourself because you're too scared to think for yourself, or you don't know how to think for yourself. That is the last thing that you want to do, because Congo has been in this before I was even born. And they're still going through it till today because Congo has almost 40% deposit of all the world natural resources put together. So at what benefit is it going to be when a country is destabilized? Congo technically should be the richest country. In fact, no, they should have the highest currency in the entire fucking world. But they cannot. Because you have a system whereby it's so perfect to the point. Remember, like I said, this system started in 1600 by those big universities. They started this. The world is where today, I can trace it back to the origin. And I did. And you can't change my mind. I don't care what else you bring. I'm going to stay to it. The reason why the world is today is because of those schools. They started all this nonsense that we go through today. I'll talk about it when I start my own rant.
The bourgeoisies who are running Africa Union and ECOWAS, I want to send a clear message to them. A clear message to them. The honeymoon is over.
Yes, fact.
Of lying to Africans.
Yes.
These coups that you are seeing that are happening, it's just a beginning.
Fact.
We are going to be seeing more coups.
Fact.
And why are we having more coups? Because the young people are finally waking up to discover that political freedom without economic freedom is continued slavery.
That's fact. So you can have your college kundala all you want. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. You can say you know about ecology or whatever you want to call it. But if there is no good economy, you will struggle. It's just common sense. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't have it anymore. And soon they will replace your sense with AI. AI that they created. And what is the pattern of what they like to do? They like to create things so they can use it to create things that will put you in your place. So we segregate us more. AI wasn't designed for you and I to be on equal par with anyone. AI is designed so that they can be the marginal space to let you know that, hey, stay in your lane. We own AI. So no. You stay in your lane. You're not there.
You don't go to school to study so that you can write a CV. You go to school to study so that you can solve the problems in the community.
You see, that is the first thing. And when you think about it in our society today, okay, you will see a lot of people don't even give a fuck anymore about bachelor's degree and master's degree and all this nonsense. Because you can master degree in ants and antelopes. Do you even know how to hunt? If you're hungry today now, what is that degree that you have about antelopes and grasshoppers? Do you know where you need to go and find them right now? Do you know how you're going to catch them? What skills do you have that is not 1 + 1? Apparently in America, you can actually create your own degree. Yeah. In America, you can create your own degree. That is $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, sometimes almost $200,000 of debt that you're going to take by creating your own degree. You have all this degree and all this PhD. When you get out of work, then you still have to come work for me because I am the one who's going to create job for you. So all that education that you heard, that you find, what problem are you trying to fix with those things that you've acquired? Nothing. You're going to end up working a fish and chip shop because that's what the society can provide. Because you don't go to learn to find out that what is a problem that this environment is having, that when I acquire this knowledge, I can fix it. It's the same thing that the rich people do today. This is why they keep buying businesses from one part of the world to the other. They'll go there. They'll observe, okay, you have this little problem. Let me put a store there for you. Because this store is going to solve this problem. Once you solve that problem, they will take the same pattern to another place. It's the same formula. The formula is there, but we don't have the resources. And how do you get the resources? You can't just get the resources by working 9 to 5. It's not going to work. The only way you can get the resources by doing one thing that most African is like a taboo for us. Fucking come together like shit. If we can do that, we combine our resources together, which is our money, our intellectuals, our resources, our effort. If we combine it together, what it is in this world that we cannot build? What? Congo alone will fix entire Africa. Just one country. Congo has everything. gold, diamond, uranium, just name it. Every natural resources you could think about, Congo has. In fact, their land is so good that it doesn't matter what you put in their soil, it's going to grow. And yet, Congo is recognized as one of the poorest countries in the world. Mother sucker you, the math is not mathing at all. Why? Because we are not fucking unified. Don't tell me anything else. Like, I don't want to listen. See, for me, I have deprogrammed myself now. Is that anytime I see any news, any comment, and I don't believe it anymore. I don't. In fact, like I said, I will keep reminding people, what you see on the news very soon, any video, I won't be able to believe nothing that I see no more. Do you understand that a time is going to come? The only thing you'll be able to want to invest your time into is to watch a sport, a live sport. In fact, to watch it, you won't even want to watch it on the news. It might be AI. Or what do you think is best? You actually need to go to the stadium to actually see the players by yourself, because that's the only way you'll be able to believe. Because that is where we're going to. We are fucked. We don't even know.
Here is the model. Before you go to school, identify the problem in the community. Then go to school, study the problem, look for possible solution, have a proposal and a business plan of how to solve this problem. When you graduate, go back into the community and solve that problem. And while you are solving problems, you've created a business and you can charge a premium for your solving the problems.
And that is it. That is what wealth has always been, is identify where there's a problem and you create a solution. Now you become the source to the solution to the problem that our environment is having. Now you have surplus of people who will come to you from far and near for them to come do business with you because you've solved a problem that is too obvious. I can fix Africa today. Literally today. Every country on the planet in Africa can their currency will be, number one thing, I go come out all this fucking European influence. Number one, we will have one currency in Africa. One currency. That's it. One currency in Africa tied by all the country's natural resources. Every president in Africa will have a proper African Union that has nothing to do with United Nations. Because like I said the other time, all these African leaders, they're side bitches to United Nations. They're all side bitches. They go there to go there and sit there and shut the fuck up. That's all they do. They're just side bitches to the United Nations. They don't have any say, any control. Let me let this man finish first before I do my own rant.
But we don't have an education system like that.
Nope.
We have an education system that gives you a degree.
You see, this man is repeating what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I will give you the schools that started this English mumbo jumbo that I'm saying right now. I should be speaking my native Yoruba language, but I cannot, because if I speak it, you don't know it. Many of you don't even understand what it means, because you and I have to conform to learn how to speak English, because that is the way the civilized world is going to accept me and is going to accept you. That's another thing again that many of you don't like to think about. Why is it that you as an African, as a brown people, Indian, China, wherever, everywhere in the world, we have to learn English. They are not required to learn my language. I think I have something I'm going to do now. Every time I go outside, I'll speak my native to you. I'm expecting you to understand what I'm saying. You need to put the time and effort for you to understand what I'm saying. Why does it have to be the other way around?
The best thing you can write after your degree, I hereby apply for a job. I'm a team worker. I work under pressure. Like really?
Oh, shit, man.
And there we end up with graduates that are not employed instead of graduates that are creating employment.
Yes.
Why? With so many engineers in Kenya, are we still having a problem of electricity? What were they doing in school? Why are we struggling with medicine when you have so many doctors and pharmacists that have come out from the bush? Who amongst all these doctors tomorrow morning will go to the bush and find them and make for us a tonic that cures stomach problems? No, it has not been tested. It has not been tested by who? Because our fathers have been doing this for the past thousands of years. Which part of clinical tests do you need But anyway, if you need clinical tests, then test it and see if it won't work. So the concept of education, we don't need an education that teaches us about the other. We need an education that teaches us about ourselves.
Man, listen, this man, everything that he's speaking, I swear to God, I've said exactly everything this man is saying. I've said exactly the same thing. And this is why it's like, maybe I need to take on the baton from him and keep saying exactly what he's saying. Everything this man is saying, I've said exactly the same thing. Listen, you see, this is why I like to throw jabs at so-called education. See, education without proper critical thinking is difficult. Just me speaking English is an insult to my ancestors. Let me say it again for you don't understand. Me speaking English is an insult to my ancestors because of me wanting to integrate myself to the rest of the world. I have to leave and forgo my language so much that I stop speaking my language so I can entertain a different language. So I'm living by every else's ideology and their own concept, by their own form of education, by their own method of living. And I forget mine because it's what I have to do, because it's the only play that I have. I have no any other choice. Because if I don't do it, I won't be able to integrate myself. So which means that other culture is not flexible enough for them to want to learn mine as I have learned this. But the only thing they like to do is that they will learn mine, take mine, store it in an archive, put it in a vault, so that anytime I become very rebellious or whatever it is, they will teach one of their own so that the one can come conversate with me like, yo, Legs, I know you don't want to speak English, but I understand Yoruba. I'm saying, oh, Omo Yoruba so. No, you won't do that because, no, Legs, you got to understand, these people, they don't have the time. And that person will sell you the sub-story why you need to understand, you need to keep speaking English. And when you do that, you have to conform, because at the end of the day, you don't want to look like you're an idiot, or you don't want to look like an asshole, because you're demanding you to learn how to speak fucking Arabic to speak to me. That is why one of the most demanding jobs in the world that most people don't understand is always be a translator. Translator are always wanted, always needed, because establishments understand the importance of communication. Tell me, in your own country in Africa, in Egypt, in Hong Kong, in whatever it is, tell me, probably the only place that have kind of stick to their is probably Japan and China and Korea. Go and look at the history. They've unalived each other so many times. It's laughable until they stop doing it. Most places in this world, they write things based on their concept of culture and their own way they write things. It's only in Africa that everything has to be translated. There's only one Africa, which is Ethiopia, that write things in their own language and they don't change it. They don't give a shit. You need to go and learn how they write Ethiopian or whatever their language is called. They can decide if they want to translate it to English or not. So which means that is why a lot of people struggle to interact with Ethiopians, because Ethiopians, no matter how things has been, you can call Ethiopians whatever you want. They're one of the oldest civilization in the world. Why? Because they stick to the concept. You want to deal with Ethiopians, you fucking better learn how to speak Ethiopian. Go and learn how to speak the language and how they read and write. But wait, it's too much effort for you to, I think, is it turmeric? I don't know, just quote me if I'm wrong. But this is the ideal, the mentality. The education system that we have in this world was never created by people who want to do things the right way. They was created by people that who want to go and influence the rest of the world for you to succumb to their ways, and you have to go by their ideology, their principles, and their laws. If you like it, they like it. If you don't like it, they will make your life a living hell.
It should be illegal for any student to graduate as a graduate and does not know what is underneath his feet in terms of the resources that their country is offering.
And that's the thing. Everybody here today hates China. I like China. Ni hao ma, I like China. China is a place I would like to visit. I want to go to the factories, to the labs, to the place they make shoe, they make cup, the way they make tables, the way they make TV. I want to go see why did they get it right. You would think in this society, when you have some of the most intelligent so-called people in the world, this thing, I'm beginning to get irritated now. Let me just let this thing play.
The raw materials that are underneath their feet, the trees that are around them, the flora that is around us.
So tell me, Nigeria.
Now, this is the last part of the conversation today that is really going to hurt me. And this is when I'm going to go berserk. So just tune in. And please, if you're watching this video now, if you're passing by, just subscribe and comment. Click the notification button. It doesn't take you too much. It's completely free. All right? Just do me a solid and do that for me. All right? Let's wait a second. Just do that for me. Let me see that you actually subscribe, because I will see it if you subscribe. Subscribe. Let me know that you subscribe. Help me out there. I can speak the truth. It's free. I ain't charging you for nothing. So subscribe. Don't be stingy with your fingers. Subscribe. It doesn't take too long. I only do live streams. I don't cut my videos. I give it to you raw. Pause. No Didi. Let's go. This part of this conversation, as a Nigerian, these hit it on the nail, or the head, like they say.
After 60 years of mining oil, why up to date you don't have a processing and a refinery to purify your oil and sell petrol to the world? That's why the oil pipes of Nigeria are passing through villages where poverty is worst. British Petroleum in Nigeria has to import back its own fuel as a processed product at a price 3 to 4, 5 times more than they send it out of the country. Those mines don't belong to us. The government signed a document with the British government, and it's in the constitution.
I just said what this man just said. I just said exactly what this man just said. Oh, let him finish.
It's in the law that Britain will mine this place for the next 99 years. I don't know how long is the lease. So you have the same law that you vote leaders into. And when they get into this law, the Western world always make sure the person going onto that chair understands the law, which protects us. So the revolutionaries that are coming in now seem to have poor knowledge of law.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching till now, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Salute to you. Thank you for still watching. Yeah. Thank you. If you're still watching right now, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So, guys, this is when I'm gonna add my own 2 cents. And while I'm doing this, I'll see if I can bring something up to share with you. So this is when you and I are going to have so-called what we call dialogue. So I'm going to dialogue, okay? Because it's an English word for when you will have conversation, and you have to make it very appropriate so you can say the right things and make it so very conducive for people to be able to digest what you're saying. And you don't have to use a vocabulary, or you can have to use those excited words. And man, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Come on, listen to my own version of my own English. And I'll speak it the way I like to speak it. Or like I say, how I like to speak it. All right, let's spoke some truth. Where is this thing? I'm about to show you this thing that I'm talking about. I'll bring it to another frame. Because, like I said, I know this for a fact. Most people don't know. I'm going to trace back to you. I'm going to show you. One of the things that start making me question a lot of things. And it's for me to free and liberate my mind. Okay, now, I'm not telling you that you have to do what I do. Don't do what I do. Believe whatever you want to believe in. Okay? If you think 1 + 1 is 1, good for you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And this is what kind of changed my mind, the way I look at things a certain way. And I can think for myself. I don't need to be woke. I don't need to believe that men are women or women are men and all this nonsense that you guys believe in in America. I don't need all of that. I'm not taking shot. I'm just telling the truth. It hurts. So now, this is what I was talking about a few days ago on my live stream on TikTok. And let me bring it here. Let me bring it here. Actually, let me use this. Let me use this to screen here to do it. And I'll tell you why I like to poo-poo on these so-called education mumbo jumbos, because it doesn't stop you from opening your mind and understand how things started and where it came from and why things has been the same way it's been. This is a lot of reasons why things haven't changed. Things will never change. Things will stay the same. It's the same old cycle. They repeat the same old formula all over again. So you can whinge, you can whine, you can complain all you want. Nothing is going to change because you're ruled and governed by the same ideology that created the way you look at life. All right. I think that should be enough. Let me get you guys a screen. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it out. All right. All right, wait. What's going on here? All right, okay. All right. So let me share my screen with you. You know, guys, I told you guys, I said at the start of this conversation, I was going to tell you guys about misplaced priorities, because this is what we have in this world. The priorities of the world is never been for you and I to have any kind of common knowledge or common intelligence about anything, really, because we're supposed to go by how things were. Let me share this screen. So I want to use this screen to highlight something. This is the start of the conversation. It's called misplaced priorities. Spending excessive time, effort, or resources on less important tasks while neglecting those that matters and more. Now, let me show you something. I hope you guys can see this and read this very well. See, the Ivy League, most schools Ivy League were originated founded as a religious college to train ministers. And if you see, this is the part whereby I want you to send to a Christian brothers or Christian sisters, because this is one part of this conversation that they don't like to have many times. Okay? The most Ivy League schools were originated founded as a religious college to train ministers. Okay? Harvard was a school that was founded in 1639. All right? Yale was in 1700. Princeton, Columbia, and Durham. Okay? Christianity wasn't just part of the curriculum, it was the core mission. Let me say it again. Christianity wasn't just part of the curriculum, it was the core mission of the ideology. Why these schools exist, why they decide to spread their knowledge to the other part of the world. This is why you can listen to what I'm saying, because normally I should be speaking Yoruba right now. You shouldn't understand what the fuck I'm saying until you go to Yoruba land and learn the language. Because that is one part of this conversation that many of you don't like to think about. Because you never, what the fuck do I need to go learn Yoruba? I mean, shut the fuck up. Yeah. You see, that shut the fuck up is the reason why. Sit on your ass, because the world is about to change. Now, let me continue the conversation. You see that? Christianity wasn't just part of the curriculum. It was the core mission. So their mission was for them to go and spread. You see other schools? Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia. That is where the modern education comes from. Because then they were seen as the most elite of the elite. And the feminists, like I said yesterday, all this feminist nonsense, you want to blame the world the way it is, those are the people you need to go and blame. Because they created this system that we have today. The method of governance that we have today was created by those motherfuckers. These motherfuckers are the ones that created the world that we have today. They did. So if you want to blame your patriarchy that you always use every time, go and blame Harvard, blame Yale, blame Princeton, blame Colombia, blame Diamond. You, the same people that will go to all these schools, you will flaunt your certificate. I went to University of Preston. I have degree in Harvard. But you don't understand that you went to the same place that I programmed you to look at men a certain way. Conversation for another day. Let us not digress. Now, you see that? Now, see, orientation in one line. And this is the place that really hurt me the most. Okay? See, the Ivy League was an educational arm of colonial Christianity. I hope you're listening. The Ivy League was the educational arm of colonial Christianity, founded by colonial wealth, training ministers for empires, and producing the religious and intellectual justification that spread Christianity alongside slavery and colonialism. Or colonization, sorry. I want you to screenshot this to debate it with your friends, your family. Go and check and fact check, milk check, skin check, tick check, big nyash check. Go and check everything you can check about what I put here. It's a prompt generated by so-called truly AI. But it was some information that was gathered and I put it there. Because when I went back into history, I found out that the modern Jesus Christ that you and I believe today started in the 1700s. So technically about 400 years ago, the Jesus that you and I believe in today, the God that you and I serve today, was originated from this. Because they created the modern way we look at slavery. They created the modern structure of education, the modern law that you and I have to abide to, and the justification for colonization. Because your countries still go through that law based on this ideology. This is why there's a lot of people that walk with so much self-entitlement. The way they talk, the way they look at other people. This is why most times, and I'm sorry, I'm not taking shot at a lot of white people here, but many of you, you're cocky as hell. Because you think you're the origin of anything, because the whole world needs to bend down and kiss your ass. Because I know not all of you are, some of you are very, very beautiful and great people. Absolutely. But the ones that do, oh yikes. Ugly behavior. Ugly. Very ugly behavior. But I don't want you to take away from what I'm saying. Orientation. The Ivy League was an education arm of colonial Christianity, founded by colonial wealth. What the hell does these people have money from? Oh, pause. Let me guess. Slavery. The school, your University of Yale and whatever it is, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia, Diamond, they made the money through slavery. Those schools is still existing to today. You wonder, do you people know that sometimes these schools that you're seeing on the screen right now, they are richer than most countries' GDP put together. Every one of these schools, they are richer than some countries combined. Because their money, you can see how far their money goes. The money is over 400 years old. 400 years of money that it doesn't matter what you do today. Because they created the form of government, the form of education. Everything that you and I do today was influenced by this school. Then, as an African man, that you have to go by all these things, you have to believe. Because this is the foundation of slavery. Founded to train Portian clergy. Funded by slavery. So your education, the English that I'm speaking, this is why I said it's an insult to my lineage. It's an insult to my family that I have to speak English, because this was put on me against my will. Because I live in the so-called Western society, I need to conform. I need to learn English so that they can communicate with me. But it's never been that emphasis for them to go learn my language, because they really have no interest. They don't care. They're not obligated to learn it. But I am obligated to learn. At the same time, I think it's good when you can actually learn other language, because it makes communication much more easier. But why does it seem to only goes one way and the other one doesn't do it? Food for thought. Now, this is the one that I want you to screenshot. Debate. I talked to someone. The Ivy School, the Ivy League, like you call it in your America. I'm cooking something for America. The day I'm going to blast you guys is coming again. The Ivy League school is an educational arm of colonial Christianity, founded by colonial wealth through slavery, training ministers and empires, and producing the religious and intellectual justification that spreads Christianity alongside slavery and colonization. This is why my brain is liberated. I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I can speak English. I'm thankful that I know 1 + 1. I'm thankful that I can articulate myself in a certain way. But at the same time, I will never forget where I come from. So this is why I don't care if you can understand me or not. I don't care if you can beg you to subscribe or don't subscribe. That is your own problem. I don't need to tell you, because conversations like this is something that we don't like, because it makes us feel very uncomfortable. Because I'm not sexy enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not fat enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't sound like an American. I sound like I'm from the bush. I live with the monkeys and the whatever you want to call it. I'm guilt tripping you. I'm making you feel too uncomfortable. Why are you supposed to subscribe? You're not. Why are you supposed to listen to a guy that keep reminding you of something? I'm not telling you that. I'm not calling you racist. I'm not calling you these, but I'm telling you this is what history is really, really done. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold you accountable for something you didn't do. But what I can do is that, can you get out of your high morality complex when you talk about some certain things, for you to actually want to separate yourself from that, integrate in other people's culture, integrate in how they do things, learn how they do things. Find a way for you to integrate the way they've integrated into you. Understand, because these create an environment whereby you can sit in a house of someone who is from India or Madagascar, or in Korea. You can sit in their house, you can see the way they talk, you can tell them to teach you the language, because it creates a harmonious environment whereby we can conversate, we can converse and interact with each other with love, with respect. And one other point again before I forget. This whole thing today now, I know President Trump is going around now threatening China, trying to make China the enemy of the entire world. It's not going to happen. Because all these rare earth minerals that they're looking for around, what did they want to build? They want to build flyer jets. They want to build jets, so they want to build bombs. These are the things that they want to use these so-called rare earth minerals to build. It's not to help with the housing crisis they have in San Francisco or in LA or in Chicago. They want to use this rare earth mineral to create bombs, because they want to build more flyer jets. They want to build things that if those things are moving, the loud noise itself can actually block your ears. They want to create things to intimidate other people. They are not creating rare earth minerals to better other people's life. They're creating rare earth minerals to destroy, to intimidate people. It's not to provide things that an average person needs in their society. They want to build electric cars. No. They don't want to build. They want to take the society, this modern love and affection that a lot of people have for Chinese product. They want to remove it because they want to stay there and show them that our technology is better. There's no quorum of humility. Nah. This is why I appreciate the Chinese culture. You see them, you show them respect. This is how they like to be conversed to. This is how they prefer. But the rare earth mineral is for them to create bombs, fighter jets, build more centers to intimidate. They spent 20-something years in Afghanistan. They spent over 4 or 8, they will never know the number. They spent over $8 trillion until they had to leave. They left everything behind. The same pattern. Destruction, property destroyed, lives unalive. A lot of people lost everything. Now, they used to call something karma. Unfortunately, it's an average American that is going to pay for the consequences of what the leadership have done. It's the average man, the average woman that has nothing to do with those people. They will be the one to they will be the one to pay for the consequences. What do you think is going to happen in the next 20, 30 years when you find a country like Afghanistan can be in the right place? What do you think they're going to forget? This is why the war never stops in this world. It's because it's always the sins of the father keep traveling from one generation to the other. It's never healed. It's never been spoken about. It's never been rectified. We keep passing it on. And you wonder why the world is shit constantly. It's always a need to buy or to create something to protect ourselves from who? From ourselves. Because the big bad bully, constantly, the only way the big bad bully is going to protect himself is that he needs to create more things to protect himself from other people, because once they stop taking the bully, then the bully can show them that he is more stronger than he was previously before. And that is the way that the modern society has been, by creating things just to keep on destroying the same thing that you've built. The rare earth minerals has never been about helping Americans, helping English people, helping French people, helping Germans, or France, or Colombia, or Mexico, or Brazil. No, it's the rare earth minerals is for them to take it again so that it can create special jets to fly around to intimidate. That is it. That is what the world, the so-called elite people, will use the same resources. They will scam, they will lie to create, and you have to accept it. If you don't integrate well in the society. And these are the people that you look up to. You say they're very civilized. How come civilization only comes at the cost of lives and thousands of people that need to lose their lives, their family? How much do you think is going to take to fix Gaza? Let me wait. I think they're projecting about, they say $80 billion. Really? Is that what almost 70 to 80,000 lives that died? Men, children, girls, boys. 80,000 people lost their lives because of an agreement by two people. Disagreement by so-called government that was supposed to protect the people. 80,000 people lost their lives. And you can sit on your fucking high ground. You claim you're looking for a place where you can give them democracy. Really? You call that democracy? I think it's a demonstration of craziness that has been affecting and injected into our psychology by the big schools who originated the way we look at education, slavery, colonization, finance. Yeah. So I am woke. I am not American woke, because that woke is a sleeping Joe. Pause. No Diddy. Yeah, I'm not American woke. I'm proper woke. That doesn't mean I don't hate. It's not about hating white people. White people are racist. White people this. White people that. No. What can I do to improve myself? What do I go to that I can learn something that I think I know, but I probably don't know shit? Humility is something that everybody needs. Even though the strongest man in this world needs to humble, because he can fight one man at a time, but if 10 or 15 men come together, he will struggle. They'll probably whoop his ass, because by the time he gets to the 7 or 8, he's going to exhaust all his energy already. But wait, the only way you can make hundreds of thousands of people scared is for you to go and pick up a rare earth mineral so you can use it to create things that will intimidate them, that will create fear in their mind in the first place. Yes, I am woke. Not Sleepy Joe woke like Americans are. No. I am woke properly from understanding how the system works. The system works the way it works because that is how it was designed by the Ivy League for it to be. Your method of how you look at money today is the same way. It's the same way Africans, we are seriously traumatized when it comes about wealth and money. A lot of Africans, a lot of black people, in fact, a lot of white people too, they're traumatized when it comes to money. And this is why I always tell people sometimes, when we talk about this whole racial situation, not every white person is a racist. I'll say it again. Not every white person is a racist. Some of them are, but not all of them. Now, if we can understand that. So let's think about it. If I'm struggling about, if I have trauma with money, I bet you there's a lot of white people to struggle and have trauma with money. Because this world is controlled by the elite of the elite. Not some dumb, stupid patriarchy by some dumb white women who just, dumb white black women, dumb white Asian women, dumb white South American women talk some dumb shit. The world is controlled by the elite of the elites, not some stupid patriarchy. Because that patriarchy, I can promise you, there's some women who sitting in those same patriarchy, they're benefiting from it. Some of those women, actually, they're part of the patriarchy. Do you ever talk to them? No. Because they program you to look at things is that when there's a problem, there is one consensus center that everybody always put their minds to. Who created this? No, if you really want to know how it created, you need to go back over 400 years because the schools, the Ivy League school, decide how the world works. This is why in my lifetime here, there's something called credit. Credit that is never been paid. You wonder why these rich moguls, how they do it? It's called the law. They know how to use the law better than the law because they get the best lawyers money can afford. They get the best lawyers to dive into the law, to bend, manipulate, squeeze the law. The law. Because the mineral health that they're going to find, they're going to use it to build a lot of things. And when they build it, ladies and gentlemen, for everything in this world, like I said again, I'll repeat it for those who are just coming in. This is the most destructive item the world has ever created. A pen and a paper. Because that's where they write their law. For everything you need to sign a contract, you need to sign a deal. There's no gentleman's shake. There is no trade by barter. Because that's what's going to be the next conversation we're going to have in my life. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about trade. I'm going to find some good information about how the world looks. Because I'm going to give you the 5-year-old explanation. That's what I like. I don't like to use all these sophisticated mumbo-jumbo words. The clarification of money simplified. No, I'll break it down. This is it. Credit. Rich man credit is different from a poor man's credit. A rich man credit is $100 million. A poor man credit is under 500,000. That credit makes more money for the banks, more than the $100 million credit from the rich man. You got to ask yourself, how does that even work? How come my credit that is maybe 10% of what that money is, how come my own credit is more valuable to the banks than the richer ones? We'll find out about it again on the next live stream. Because there's a trade that we used to have back in those days. It's called equal value based on what you accept. I have a tuber of potato and you have banana. I will come to you, I said, okay, I want your banana. You ask me, what do I have? I said, okay, I have potato. We'll swap. Give you potato, you give me banana. It's called trade by barter. And you will never find that in your school. Even some of you know it. You never really dig dive into it. But the only thing the Ivy League school have taught you to look at most of the time is that through credit system. The system whereby you can borrow money, but you're not really obligated to pay back as long as you can use the borrowed money to buy more other things, to borrow more other things, to acquire more other things. This is why in the Western society that I live in, some people live, a lot of people, they live on credit crunch. You think you're rich based on buying things that you actually didn't pay for. You are just responsible for the debt. And I learned a lot of things this past week, how rich people will literally borrow money against their own will. They now use the money to get more assets. And they will sell the assets to buy shares. Then they will use the shares. They will find a country whereby they can go keep the money so they don't have to pay tax. They repeat the same pattern. They don't just do it in one country. They do it all over the country. So if you think you're going to stop their money there, you're fooling yourself. Their money is in another place. They have more money in another place more than the place that they have. In fact, the game is that their money actually never stays in one country. Dummy, their money always actually moves around. That's why they say the world goes in circle. The money moves around. Because the elite of the elite understand something better than you and I do. They understand how to manipulate the law and tax. Law and tax is how they do it. That's why feminazis, stop blaming the average white man, blaming them for patriarchy. The patriarchy. Oh, everything is destroying this world because the patriarchy is the elite. Go and pull that aggression, because that is a misplaced anger, misplaced mentality. Place that mentality to the right place. The elite of the elite is where the problem is, not just an average man. Because I am going to say something on this live stream that most people don't understand. Or they would like, fuck, oh, really? Listen. And this is not me defending anyone because of past affiliation or anything. There's some really, really good Caucasian white men from every ethnicity you want to. I know they're all over the place. Norway is different from Germany. Germany is different from England. You know what I mean. Many of them, they struggle more than you and I do. Many of them, they're living through the consequences of what their ancestors have done. And many of them hasn't even started reaping the reward yet. Because karma is a motherfucking bitch. It's going to find you. So not every white man is hateful. Not every white man is racist. Not every white man is this and that. And it's not fair. There's a lot of young men who are coming up today that they even expressing this burden already. And it's not fair. This is why I said I call this conversation a misplaced priorities. The place that we need to put our thought to, the things that we need to concentrate and put all our energy to, we don't put it there. We find the closest way we can blame something, or the closest things we can find, we would dump it on it. Because that's much more easier, and I can put all my frustration, all my anger on it. That's why I don't subscribe to some things. Why am I going to blame a 20-year-old boy? Because of the system that was designed never in the first place to benefit me. Because he rips up the reward. Lucky his ancestors were smart enough to do something a certain way. Yeah, is he going to look at me a certain way? Yeah, I know. Okay. It doesn't define me as a man. So what do I do as an African man? I'm not going to just look down on him. I just need to understand it. Well, it is what it is. But what do I need to do? I need to find a way for me to upgrade myself, to learn what I can learn. Go learn from people who can teach me something that can elevate me, to shape, to rechange, to rewrite the perception that the boy has about me. So which means I can build something, I can create something in the system, or, which is probably the most difficult one, I need to completely dissociate myself from people who were raised in a particular ideology and a particular mentality. Because once I can remove myself from that ideology and that mentality, all I need to do is that I need to create a mentality and ideology that works for me and that I believe in. My space, my ideology, my mentality. It is not in your curriculum or in your own book because it doesn't come from the Ivy League system. It comes from me system. What works for me. Well, if you like this conversation, please subscribe. Don't be stingy. Okay? If I told you I know Didi, I saw a lot of things. Subscribe, I'll tell you. Yeah? That is the only time people want to subscribe. It is free. YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. It's completely free. Just that's all you need to do and click the notification bell. Write a comment. I asked a question initially. I'm yet to see anybody to answer. Can you tell me, does any country that's colonized, the big 7, the big 8, can you tell me, does any of this country have an artifact that belongs to China in the museum that they never refuse to return? Because I need to know. Because that is one thing that is coming very soon that most people don't know. Because let me tell you something now. When it's official, when America finally dropped the mic that, okay, we give it up. Yes, China is the number one country in the world. You're going to see something new. This is the new next prophecy now. Because the new dog in the yard is going to want to spread his it's nature. China will want to spread their nyash a little bit. And all those countries that you did them. Japan, don't sleep. Don't sleep. America, don't sleep. Because karma is a bitch. Like I've said many times. It's one part of Bible that I appreciate. It says the sins of the father can travel from one generation to the other. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I calculate generation as every 100 years or every 50 years. Back in those days, they calculated a whole lot more different. Because back in those days, they live on an average of 100 years already. So technically, you could go as far as 7,000. So this is why we keep passing trauma from one generation to the other. Well, I said enough this night or this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're watching. If you like, comment, subscribe. It's free. Like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, thinking is not illegal to think. I am not an Ivy League thinker. I am not from Yale or Columbia or Harvard. From my own university. It's called University of Legs. Where thinking is not illegal. Deprogram yourself so you can be reprogrammed by your own software.
Please, do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.